Hola chicas, welcome back to today's episode. We are doing a Ask Dulce episode. I will be answering your questions. Thank you for submitting them. Before we get started, I do want to remind you that this is the last month to reserve your spot for my retreat to Bali, and I will be having more in the future, but this is an incredible experience, and if you feel called and aligned, reach out to me. I would love to answer any questions that you have. It's going to be a beautiful experience. It's coming up this July 12th, and it's going to be great. I already know it. So if you are interested, make sure to check the description box so you can check all the information on the retreat. Also on my website, I have some photos of our Costa Rica retreat. So if you want to see a little bit behind the scenes, what we've been doing, definitely check that out. Or you can also check out the vlog that I uploaded if you want to see kind of like how, things unfolded there. All right, so let's begin with today's podcast. How has your life changed since moving to Texas? That is one of the biggest questions that I get asked. We've been here almost 6 months. I think the biggest change is that it has brought my family closer together, like me and my husband and my 2 children. It has brought us closer together because we're experiencing this new change, a new chapter, and new lifestyle together. And we're doing the things that we wanted to do. Just this past weekend, we bought our first 3 pollitos, and we've been wanting to start a farm. And my little boy, Aaron, he just turned 5 last week, or actually this week. And for his birthday, we got him a little pollito. And then we ended up buying 2 more because we wanted them all to be together. And so I picked one out. I named her Dorothy because I love Golden Girls and Dorothy is my favorite character. And then my little boy named his Pio Pio, and Isaac named his Toodles. So this is it's just really exciting. I love to see my husband take care of the farm animals. And farm animals are chickens, and they're so cute and so adorable, and it's just really incredible. We spent a lot of time together at dinner. Didn't really used to sit together for dinner time back in LA for whatever reason. We used to make an effort, but for the most part, they would kind of just eat in front of the television, or they were doing their own thing. They would just kind of eat. We would all eat in our own little worlds, but here we make dinner and we eat together and we pray before dinner. That's also something new since being here. We pray before any meal that we have, and we travel together all over Texas, exploring and having adventures, and all of that has really bonded my husband and I with our children even more, and I see them so much more happier. What's it like raising kids with a big age gap? I feel like it's living like 2 motherhood journeys all at once. I'm parenting a teenager and I'm also parenting a toddler, me and my husband. 2 completely different seasons and challenges, and all of these different things are happening. I think when I first got pregnant with Aaron, I was like, oh my gosh, they have such a big age gap because they have about 9.5 years in between them. But it's honestly so amazing. I feel like it always works out. I think we also tend to worry about things that we shouldn't worry about, I know that I worried about oh my gosh, there's such a big age gap. They're not going to get along. They're not going to bond, but it's not true. I think one of the biggest benefits of having a huge age gap, almost a decade, is that Isaac is old enough to understand that when his little baby brother was born, he needed special care and attention, and certain things had to be done for his little brother that my oldest understood. And I feel like if he would have been a toddler or a little boy just a little bit older than Aaron, he would have been maybe a little bit more jealous or not understand quite so the changes that were happening when integrating a new family member into our unit, since he was the only child for 10 years. For me, one of the mistakes that I did was giving more attention to Aaron, the little one, because I always felt like Isaac was already like the oldest brother, but he's still a kid. He's 14 years old. And my dad taught me to make sure that I am teaching Aaron that Isaac is the leader and Isaac is the one that is going to lead him and be in charge of situations, and not always and me not always cater to what Aaron has to say, like always defend Aaron, because me and Aaron also have like a really huge bond. And I think it's because I breastfed him, but our bond is like so strong, and we just ride for each other, and since he's my little baby, like I tend to take his side a little bit more, and I'm just like, stop bugging your little brother Isaac, but my dad did teach me, like, I have to show Aaron that Isaac is in charge. Isaac is the leader, because Aaron is looking up to his big brother and he needs to respect his big brother as the leader. It's important for them to have a clear, defined outline of what role they each play. Do you ever actually take a lazy day? So lazy days are not that rare, actually. I honor my body and I do what my body asks me to do. I am definitely not tapped into the hustle culture anymore, because that always led to burnout, and that always led me to just feeling anxious and unhappy. So I rest every single day. Like, I think one of the really coolest things that I learned also in nutrition school is that we are programmed in our Western culture to continue to hustle without a break. And so something that is incredibly needed are literal breaks, but not to be on your phone, just like laying down or closing your eyes for like 15 to 20 minutes. Naps are literally mandatory, even though I don't take naps, but I do always take a break. Like if I, do something, if I'm working and I complete one thing off my to-do list, I'll go down and just chill. I'll go to the bed and just kind of chill for a little bit. And then when my energy is back up, I'll go back and tackle it with a fresh perspective. So for me though, a lazy day without having to do any work, honestly, it's just me without makeup. It's me without a cute outfit. It's me going on a walk. It's me eating Greek yogurt chocolate bars, one of them, because they're really huge, and watching something on television for a little bit, or just kind of like doing whatever I want to do throughout the house. That is a literal lazy day for me. And honestly, some of my best ideas come from days where I do absolutely nothing. What is one daily ritual that's really grounding you right now? Daily walks in nature. I can't stop talking about them enough. They have really become my anchor. Even if it's just 10 minutes, getting outside and walking really helps me feel grounded. And it's just like a walking meditation for me. Today, we just discovered this gorgeous place with a bunch of pebbles. It's like a little beach by the Guadalupe River. We were actually planning on going on a walk with the dogs, but just being there and exploring this new space, and it was completely silent, just like the sounds of nature. It was just like, my nervous system really needed this. I also love doing cacao ceremonies by myself. I think the whole act of making a cup of cacao is really about mindfulness, slowing down, and intention, and really getting in tune with the moment and ritualizing my day more. I love to ritualize basically everything in my life. Even putting on makeup is a ritual that I love doing also. It's not like something else that I have to do for the day. I especially love to burn like rose incense, have pink roses in fresh water in my vanity. I love to play like beautiful music from Egypt and like older tunes that are just really like just really filled with like feminine energy. And I love to be very mindful about, using my makeup products and applying the foundation or a blush or a lip color and looking at myself in the face in the mirror and seeing what is the kind of look that I want to go for. How do I want to do my hair? What do I want to smell like? What is the whole vibe of today? And treating everything my whole makeup routine, my beauty routine as a love ritual, as a self-love ritual. And I get to tap into my feminine energy and mindfulness and meditation and being present, all while doing my makeup, and like really being like really in tune with the sound that this is making when I open it, the smell of this rose oil, just being really in tune with the way that the bottle feels on my hand, and the visual and the smell and the application and how it feels on my cool skin, and just all of the things. I really love approaching beauty in that way now. How do you stay consistent with your wellness routines when life gets chaotic? Okay, I think the important thing here is to set low pressure, high impact rituals that you're actually going to complete. So for me, it's like doing a 5-minute intention instead of overloading myself with this really long routine. And I think we see that on social media. We see these really long morning routines and all different types of routines, which are really inspirational, but it can have the viewer thinking that we got to be doing all of this in order to feel right. When the truth is that simply lighting incense or a candle or 5 minutes of breathing, all of these little things really just help anyone stay consistent with their wellness routines, right? Having like one win for your mind, body, and soul. Make a list and just have one win. You know what I mean? What's something that you're unlearning about your body? One of the biggest things that I have learned is to not look at my body as something to fix. You know, I'm not looking in the mirror and being like, oh, I got to get rid of this. I got to change this. This is ugly. You know what I mean? I used to look at myself like that for so long. I just show up to be healthy and to love on my body at whatever phase I find myself in. And even when I put on a little bit of extra weight, I actually gained 10 pounds. I was cool with it in a way that I didn't hate my body. But I knew, okay, I need to get a little bit healthier, a little bit more disciplined with my eating habits, and I need to get back into weight training, because that to me is a form of self-love. I love that. That's definitely one thing. I remember just being a little girl and hating everything about myself. And I legit use the word hating because that's how I used to feel. And I don't. And that's a big part of the self-love journey is loving yourself in any form. And a big part of that was also when I joined the army, and I used to see women in all shapes and sizes with hair and no hair all over their body. And we would just get naked in front of each other and jump into the shower. And that's where I learned to love myself and accept myself for who I am, because I would see other women accept themselves and not strive for perfection. And they were completely happy with whatever shape that they had. Have you ever thought about quitting content creation? Definitely not. I love content creation, but I have to say that I have felt extremely disappointed, and sometimes I doubt myself, or I feel like, do people even care if what I have to say even matters anymore? You know, like I've had a lot of moments like that, but I always remind myself why I'm doing this and what is the mission that I want to fulfill with just showing up. It's not about the likes. It's not about the followers or any of that. It's about, do you feel fulfilled? Do you feel aligned with your purpose? Are you fulfilling that purpose? And are you serving? Are you helping? And that's what keeps me going. That's why I do what I do. I don't focus on the numbers per se, because those can be disappointing just if you're looking at it like that. But when you're talking about connections and when you're actually seeing in your life the difference that just showing up consistently is actually creating in your life, that makes me realize a lot of things. I also feel like the devil gets into our head and makes us feel like we're not worthy, or we don't have anything to offer, or nobody cares, nobody's listening, you're a failure. Like, those are not thoughts of the Lord, you know, those are thoughts of the opposite team. And so I remind myself whenever I'm feeling that, oh, that's not God. You know, those thoughts don't come into my mind because God is putting those in my mind. The opposite team is speaking to me and letting me know all of these things. And so it's our job not to believe that. Do not believe that, because that will make you very unhappy and it can cause you to feel depressed. A lot of us are content creators and the metrics change all the time and the algorithm changes all the time. And a lot of us also might have our self-worth tied into our business and our vision, because what we're putting out there is our heart. It's ourselves, is what we have to offer. So when it's not hitting, when it's not being, acknowledged, it can feel pretty hurtful and disappointing. So there's moments that I definitely have a lot throughout this career, but I love what I do. I love connecting with people. I love expressing myself through content. I love that I get to be creative and share what's on my mind and my heart. And that makes me a very happy person. To be able to do that and to be able to express myself is something that makes me very happy. And so as long as I'm doing that, I think I'm going to continue to do what I do. What advice would you give to your younger self? One of the biggest things that I would advise my younger self that I wrote down right here, it's that every struggle shapes you into the strong and wise woman that you are becoming. And also that the messy moments are just as important and as sacred as the big moments. It's really important to acknowledge that. I believe Kobe Bryant, rest in peace, he had said something along the lines that it's important for us not to get so caught up in the goal that we forget to be enjoying the journey. And for him, the most important part of accomplishing his goals was his journey, was being content throughout the process of what he was achieving and what his goal was. And I think we might tend to get caught up in the goal, that we're not appreciating everything and all the blessings that are unfolding in front of us right now. And so I remember when I did my collaboration with Pixie Beauty back in 2015. I mean, it was a big deal. And I remember the day that we had the big event in LA where, it was like a PR event. It was a huge event. And I just remember feeling, what now? After that night, I'm like, what now? Like, all of the buildup and anticipation of creating products have led to this big, moment, the pinnacle of releasing the product, having the big party. And then I go home and I'm like, well, now what? What is the next thing? You know what I mean? And so since then, I have learned to appreciate the valleys of my life. And I love the valleys. I enjoy the low moments also, because I don't see them as something negative. I see them as a moment of, of learning, of testing, of trying, of being creative, of slowing down, being in tune with yourself a lot more. I love that time. It's more alone time, more ritual time. And then you have the big moment, right? When the product comes out or you reach that goal. But you go back down and you enjoy that also. So it's not just about enjoying the goal or the pinnacle of that moment. It's about enjoying the whole journey. Literally the whole journey, because we can be gone right now, tomorrow. Who knows, right? So the podcast is actually getting pretty long and I still have a few more questions to answer. So I will leave these for another Ask Dulce episode. I just want to say thank you so much for tuning in. Hopefully something resonated with you today. Have a blessed and beautiful day, and I can't wait to see you in our next episode.